Sara. Welcome to another video tutorial here at Mrs. Lincoln's Inkin. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this little tea light holder. I actually saw this idea on YouTube from a site, I believe it's called Poodle's Papercraft. I believe that's what it's called. And I changed it up a little bit as far as the cutting and how to put the box together because I made it simpler for me to do. The directions that were on the YouTube video, although were very clear and cute, I just couldn't grasp the concept. So I did a little refiguring and made it a different way. So it holds 4 tea lights on the inside. How cute of a gift is that? And so this is what we're going to be making today. So let's go ahead and get started. First, what you're going to need is a piece of cardstock. I'm using the crumb cake today, and this is cut at 7 3/4 by 5 1/4. Now we need to grab our Simply Score board here. And what we need to do first is with the 7 3/4 side on the top, we need to make a score mark at 3/4. Now we need to turn it over around like that, 90 degrees, and then score again at 3/4. Now with the 5 1/4 side on the top, we need to score at 3/4, 2 1/4, 3, and 4 1/2. Alright, so now we're done with the scoreboard, so let me put that away here. Alright, so now with any 3D box or project, you want to make sure that you really reinforce your score marks. So get your bone folder out and reinforce them really well. Now you could also make this project with DSP, not, just normal cardstock. And if you're doing it with DSP, you don't want to use your bone folder to reinforce the lines because the paper's thinner and it will tear. So if you're using just plain DSP, just use your finger like that and it'll work perfect with the DSP. Okay, so now this is what we have going on here. A bunch of folds. Now this is where I changed it a little bit. What you're going to have is you're going to have 3 squares right here. Top, middle, bottom. What you're going to do is you're going to take your paper snips and you're just going to snip all the way up to that 3/4 inch score mark that we made on all of those little squares right there. So by the end you should have 4 snips. Just like that. Now on these two or these two, you have to decide which way you want your top to be, and because it's equal, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to say that this is my top right here. So you actually want to notch out right at the top here. I know it's a little backwards, but right at the top, because when you fold it over, it's going to mesh better. You see that? There's not going to be a lip right there. So we're going to do that on both sides. So I'm going to notch out my top right here. And by all means, you don't have to notch out the top. I just like to because I like my projects to be completely flush. I have a little bit of OCD with that. So I notch out the top. But you don't have to if you'd prefer not to. Okay, so now we have a little flap, a big flap, a little flap, a big flap, a little flap. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make our window. So this was the top of my box because I notched out my little sides right there. So I'm going to be using the large oval punch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this, my flap, in my punch like this, where I think it's even. And that looks good to me. Punch it out. Okay, so now I want to put a piece of DSP on there like I did with this one. And this one I used the word window, but I thought that the oval would be cute. So I have a piece of Seasons of Style DSP, and this is cut at 6 by 1 1/4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this where I think it's even, flip it over, trying really hard not to move it, take a pencil, and I'm going to trace my oval right there. And then I'm going to punch this out on that pencil mark oval that I made. Just like that. Bring it back over here, make sure it lines up. And it does. Yay. So then I'm just going to come over here with my snail, and I'm going to snail it up. Getting on that little thing right there. And then place this on my oval. There. So now I have my DSP covering right there on the top. So now to cover up our oval right here, what we're going to do is we're going to take just a plain window sheet, and there really is no exact measurement for this that I found. I just kind of cut one and make sure that it fits, because if you use a different shape in the middle, then obviously your window sheet is going to be different. So just cut a piece of window sheet that's going to fit whatever shape you cut out. And I like to use glue dots for this. So I'm going to take my glue dots and my paper piercing tool. That's what I like to use for my glue dots. And I'm just going to put one in each corner. And I like using the glue dots too with the window sheet because it really sticks well, and once you stick your window sheet down on the cardstock, the glue dots don't really show all that much. So that's why I like using the glue dots. And then we're just going to set our window sheet right on top of that oval. And then press it down. There. And now we have our little window in there. How cute. Okay. So now, to assemble our box and keep it closed, we're going to use our red sticky, and we're going to put a piece of red sticky, making sure that the top of our box is facing up, so our DSP is facing up, and we're going to put a piece of red sticky in each one of these boxes. Now, if you do happen to go to the other website that I mentioned earlier, the Poodle's Paper Craft, the way that she did her box is on each one of these little flaps where we're putting our sticky strip, she did diagonal marks, and the box ended up so cute. Obviously I love the idea because I had to make one and then share it with all of you, but I just found that for me, this was easier. So that's the only reason why I changed it up a little bit. Okay, so now with our red sticky, I like to start at the bottom of my box. So you're just going to peel off the backing. You're going to fold your tab inward and then bring your other tab, your bigger tab, on the top like that. So now you see how we have that little, I don't know if you can see it, that little like flap right there. I don't like that. So I'm just going to take my paper snips and I'm just going to cut that off. Whoop. Just like that. And now it's completely flush. So then we're going to take our other flap here, which would be our middle flap, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold it in, line it up, and then close it. So see, there's the side of our box. So now on the other side, peel our sticky and then fold it and stick it. Now see, I have that little flappy right there. Whoopsie, now I'm throwing things all over the place. So I'm just going to cut them in with my paper snips and cut that off. Perfect. And it doesn't make your box open or close any differently if you don't, you know, cut those off. Again, it's just a personal preference. And if I didn't cut them off, I would probably have bad dreams for weeks to come. All right, there we go. So flip that off, cut that off. Perfect, so now there's the bottom of our box. Now, we're just going to do the exact same thing with the top flap. And then fold it over. Just like that. Peel this one off, under, and fold. Oh, and I got a little extra right there too. There we go. How stinking cute is that? Let me get the tea lights out of this one. And then you just put them inside like this. How adorable is that? So cute, so cute. Now to decorate the front of mine, just to give it a little bit of extra, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my large oval again and a piece of gumball green cardstock, and I'm going to punch the oval out. And then I'm going to come back here with my scallop oval, and I'm going to put the oval that I just punched in the middle of it here, so it gives me a nice little ring of scallops. Can you see that? There you go. See? Cute. Alright, so then I'm just going to come in here and take my snail and lightly snail it all the way around. Then I'm going to place this right over my oval, just to give it that little bit of extra something. Making sure that it's even. There we go. How cute is that? And then here's the other one that I did. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video tutorial and learned something new. Until next time, happy inking!